Hi, this is Dave Summers. I'm here today with a dear friend of mine, old and dear friend of mine, and a coworker from long ago. We don't have to go into that right now. Sandy Vosk. Sandy is the president and founder of Advantage Technology Solutions, a well-known and highly regarded firm in the market space of supply chain management, both the technology and the people side of all things supply chain management. He has a list of clients that people would kill for. We're not going to talk specifically about them right now. But one of the things that Sandy has been doing recently that I have just been captivated by and felt the need to start talking about it online with video was Sandy is posting a LinkedIn blog series about what he entitles the biggest supply chain management challenge like in history, and it's the sourcing and the manufacturing and the distribution of the COVID-19 vaccination to a global, you know, audience, to a global, community of people who are in need of this vaccine. And I've just been sucked into his perspectives as it relate to what it takes to get something like this underway. And it's monstrous, it's huge, but he's on point, and his stuff is very compelling. Sandy, so good to see you today. How's it going?
Great. Thank you so much, Dave. It's such a pleasure to do this with you. It's an honor and a privilege. It really is. And it's going to be fun too. So thank you.
I think so, and our plan is to roll out one of these videos each week, and to distribute it all the places it needs to be, both on your website and on the YouTube channel and on LinkedIn, so we can tune people into this type of thing. And going in, I want to let people know that we are very into feedback, and so if you could give us comments or send us emails, we'll put the email addresses on the screen. It would be super helpful for us to turn this into the type of program that you would find useful. Sandy, let's cut to the chase. Why this, although I find it super interesting, I'm a nerd that way, why this blog series? Why now? What prompted you to start doing this?
The real initiation, believe it or not, came from a buddy of mine, one of my oldest and dearest friends, who literally said, I think you should start writing about this. And I said, that's a brilliant idea. And it just started to flow just so easily. It's the most important thing going on every day in terms of our health. And it is a supply chain story. Everything about what it's taken to create, produce COVID-19 vaccines, of which miraculously we have 3 that are prepared to be, that are being rolled out, right? Mm-hmm. Amazing amount of time, and, not rushed, safely tested, and of course, continuing to monitor results. But that's an amazing story in and of itself. Mm-hmm. But it's not the story. The story is, how do you get those vaccines to everybody on Earth that needs and wants one? Because this is truly the most significant global crisis that's ever hit us, with immediate need, not minimizing the climate issues at all. So, and I felt that I had a unique point of view to share on this, given my background, my experience, and to stick to the facts, share data and accurate data about what was going on and what the lessons are from a supply chain perspective.
Excellent. It almost, in my mind, it almost borders on, I'm a science fiction fan, and it borders on like the best hard science fiction, where it's so rooted in the reality of the challenges we as a species, never mind a community, but as a species face here. Listen, one of the things we wanted to do in the program was kind of give a a weekly, I won't call it a recap, but sort of the key point takeaways from your most recent postings. Can you kind of bring us up to date a little bit and give us your key points for this particular program?
Sure. I mean, to go from what we just said, this miracle of, having at least 2 in the United States, the Pfizer and the Moderna, and of course, AstraZeneca is now being approved, and there are others coming, J&J especially. But the challenge is getting it to the people, right? And that's really where we are. The last 2 blogs I wrote were about that. Operation Warp Speed, incredible job. But the focus, their goal was to just distribute to the states. End of story. It's not the end of story. It's really the beginning of the story. And it's not a good story because the majority of the states don't have the money, don't have the talent, and the resources that would be doing this are already up to here dealing on a day-to-day basis with the pandemic. So that's really where we are. And the damn shame of it is, well, first I'll talk about the positives. My wife's an RN. Tomorrow she's getting her second vaccine. And, she cried when she got the first one, to be frank. And, it's a huge milestone for her to now know that, she'll be safe. But for me, I have no idea when I'm getting a vaccine. No idea. And at a time when there are vaccines sitting on shelves.
Yeah.
That is horrific.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge today. How do we move from that logjam to a managed process, not what Florida's doing, by the way, but a managed process to give people the vaccination. And that's exactly where we are. And that's where I'll be picking up in the next series.
That's great. And also another thing that we had talked about was the power of video. One of the things we can do is we can plant sort of these seed-like questions in people's heads, whether these people are clients of yours or just the general consumers of this type of video. What questions do you want to sort of leave the audience with today?
Number one, given where we are, January 5th, beginning in the year 2021 is planning. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And so, for executives, companies out there, how solid are their plans right now? Their financial plans, their operational plans, their sales plans. It's a time to reflect on those and tighten them up because failing to plan is planning to fail. That's the first question. The second one I would say is, and especially since I deal predominantly with manufacturing, distribution, logistics companies are, what issues exist in their organization today that could result in delays? We're now behind the 8 ball. It was bad enough that we didn't have a good plan. How do we make up for it? And how do we do that in a quality way, right? So that you need to be thinking about strategically, proactively, not reactively. And I would say the third issue, which has been exacerbated by the pandemic, are what current labor issues or resource issues do companies or executives currently have? And oh my God, how would they deal with an unexpected hit? And then what would that do? It's almost like having a disaster contingency plan, right? And be thinking about these things proactively. And I would love to hear what executives are currently doing in this regard, or what thoughts or questions they have, because I believe it's the greatest time of year to be having those discussions.
It's kind of it's kismet. It's one of those wonderful things where this has happened at the beginning of a year where a lot of people are thinking new and evaluating their plans and revisiting kickoff solutions and whatever. So the timing could not be better. I want to wrap up here by once again reminding folks, we'll put the email addresses on the screen, but also leave your comments below and let us know what you think about this program and how we can make it better. Sandy, thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to the next episode, dude.
Me too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.